Welcome back to Dubbzi Bricks for another episode of building the ONYX Cinder in Lego. There was no update last month due to a holiday, but keen to get back into it this month. And we're going to start off with a little haul here. And this package here from lego.com has got parts for both my Gotham City mock and also the ONYX Cinder. So in the parcel here, we've got a selection of yellow plates, and these are all going to be used on the road markings within Gotham City. We've got some trans clear tiles, which are going to be used for the lights on our police car. We've got some wheel arches for the police cars on Gotham City. The most important parts are these ones here. The quarter circles, we're using those for the engines on the ONYX Cinder. These are for the outside of the ONYX Cinder engines. We've got these curved slopes here, which I'll be using on the wings of the ONYX Cinder. And we've then got a load of the snot bricks here, the 2x1s. And again, these will be used on the ONYX Cinder engines as well. Let's see what other parts. We've got some red 1x1 bricks. Again, there for our Gotham City mock. And the 1x3 orange, dark orange bricks. Again, that's for another building within Gotham City. Anyway, let's get all of those bricks sorted out and then we can start working on the engines. Also had a delivery come in from a bricklink store called 90s Bricks from the UK, and the service was absolutely fantastic there. Prices were very good, postage was very reasonable, and the speed was fantastic. So massive thank you to 90s Bricks, and I will put a link to his bricklink store in the description of the video. So go check him out and show your love for that bricklink store. Here we have one of the prototypes of the engines that we knocked up a couple of months ago, and this is what we're going to be mainly working on in this update. And I'm going to try and get all 6 of the engines done. Now, there's some parts that I won't be able to do, like the full skin of it, and the reason for that are these parts just here. I need them in dark bluish grey. Now, they only come in one Lego set, and it's a Technic set, and there are none available in large quantity on Bricklink, probably due to the fact they're only in one set, but also lego.com don't have them in stock at the moment. I keep checking, and I've been checking for the last, I think it's about 6 weeks, and still nothing. Now, in this parcel here, we have got some of the one wide ones. Cost-wise, it's very similar. I think it only works out about 1 cent different for every 2 studs wide you go. However, I sooner keep the amount of lines between the bricks down to a minimum if possible. So if I can get the 2x, that would be my preference. But if after like another month or so they still haven't got them, I will resort to using the 1 wide slopes on there. Now, the amount I'm going to need on here is so many. When you bear in mind, I need 8 to go all the way round. And I think of the double ones here, I'm going to need at least 10 in length. So, yeah, 80 per engine. 480 of those we're going to need, and they're at 23 cents each, I think it is. So it's not cheap just doing this skin on these engines. So yeah, fingers crossed we will be able to get them, and hopefully there'll be either double VIP points or a decent gift for purchase when we come to purchase them. But anyway, let's start making up engines here. Let's get all 6 of those made, and I'll check back in once we've done so. And here we have the 6 engine structures, and there are so many pieces that go into each one of these, as you can see by the multicoloured bricks and plates, tiles, brackets and everything else that are in here. Now, with these Technic beams here, these will just clip together. I'll put a couple of Technic pins in there. They'll be plated off over the top, and I may very well put brackets on both sides of this and then plate over the edge of that as well. That'll make it super strong once it's inside of the wing. So therefore the back engines, and then the front engines is just the standard Technic beams on there. Still need to work out exactly how I'm going to be attaching these to the fuselage. I need to make sure they are on there in a very strong, sturdy way, and they're not going to start tilting once you've got all of the exterior on the engine and the wings as well. I want to make sure they are super strong. Now, with the engines here, there'll be a detail on the front there, so that's going to go up by probably 1 or 2 bricks, and on the bottom it's probably going to be about 3 or 4. I want it to slope in very slightly. Now, there's only so much I can do with the engines until the curved slopes come in stock. What I'm going to do now, though, is start working on other details around the engines and get it all ready so that when the curved slopes finally do become in stock, or I bite the bullet and go down the 1x3s, I can just add those on further down the line and just get the engines finished then. So there is still a lot more I can do with the engines without the slopes. Anyway, let's start working out what we're going to do next, and I'll check back in once I've done so. And here we have the first attempt at covering the engine on the ONYX CINDER here, and really happy with how it's coming along. Using the 1x3 curved slopes isn't bothering me as much as I thought it would. It would have been nice to have had the 2 so you don't have the extra lines in there. However, yeah, it's not bothering me as much. And I do need to add a black line in here, so I would need 1x's on there and there anyway. So yeah, I think it's going to work out okay. So I may very well order all of the pieces in, so I can just crack on with these engines. Now you would have noticed during the time lapse I did have to amend this section here. I have been using these bracket pieces you can see here, and that makes it half a plate, stick out half plate more. And I was finding I couldn't get these parts on just right, so I went over to using these bricks on there. So I just need to swap that bottom row out on there just so I can get the rest of the engine done there. But yeah, it's nice to get this to this stage. Now what I want to do is get another one of these knocked up, just the front side, just so I can put them side by side and make sure that we're going down the right route for the rear engines with the wing section in the middle. Now this is a front engine because this section here is on the top here, compared with the arm there, whereas on the rear engines they'll need to be on this part here, so the opposite side to the engine mount. So yeah, we're just going to see how many more of these we can find out in our collection. Luckily we have had a good sort through our Lego pieces recently, so we should be able to find quite a few bits that we're able to use. I'm just about to start the second engine, and as you can see from this one, we've got the black lines on here, but I'm not happy with this section here, where the cheese wedges are. If you look at the image on screen now, it looks more like they go straight down rather than coming off a sloped angle, and the slope is more likely on this part just here. So I'm just going to experiment with the next engine and try and get it so it's a little bit more accurate to the source material than the one I've got here already made. And here we have 2 different versions of the engine. This is the original one with the cheese slopes on, and here's the other one without them. And I think I actually prefer it without. I think it's a lot tidier looking and a lot more screen accurate, or at least to the images I'm looking at the moment. Now, the next thing I need to work on is this section just here behind the black line. That needs to be a little bit raised, so I'm going to raise it up by 1 plate all the way around, and then hopefully, again, that's going to make this look a little bit more accurate. Now, in doing that, I will also need to raise these parts on the side here, so I'm going to need to find out some of the brackets that are 1 wide as opposed to 2. Now, I have put the occasional black one in, and I'm going to use some light bluish grey ones as well, just to give it a more weathered look. And if I've got any brown, I might use those as well. I don't want it to look too tidy, as the ONYX CINDER was quite a beat up ship when the kids found it. So anyway, let's start making those amendments to the engines, and we'll check back in once we've done so. And a little bit more progress has been made to the engine here. This now steps up, which I'm a lot happy with on here. So the top part I really like. It's this section just here that I'm not so happy with. There's something about it, I think it's just the fact that you've got a big square here of flat Lego, whereas it should be curved. So I'm just going to carry on experimenting. So I'm going to put this one to one side. This is my older version, which hasn't got the steps, so I'm going to experiment on this one. So just in case I can't improve it, then we've already still got one made up. So yeah, let's take the shell off of this one, and let's start experimenting once again, see if we can improve on our other version. And here is version number 3 of the engine, and I'm much happier with the look of this one. I decided that rather than have it step in like this, I've just gone for one bit in there, which is that little bit narrower. This one here, I'm not sure whether it should be out as much as that. However, it's not possible to get it just the half plate in there, I don't think. And also it fits so snug. What I'm going to be doing is on the front section here, which I have no idea how I'm going to go about doing it. That's the bit that's going to be that little bit smaller. So yeah, really happy with how this is all starting to come together now. Now what I need to do is concentrate on the rear section. The other thing I have done as well is I have gone back to using the brackets here as opposed to the snot bricks, which I used on that one there. So all of the frames that I made up over here, they're all going to be used as they were constructed, so that's all good. But yeah, getting there slowly but surely. Anyway, what I'm going to concentrate on now is just doing the next section of the engine back here. It would be nice to try and get one whole engine done, just so I know exactly what parts I need to order in. I did place an order last night for a load of these parts here and other bits and pieces that I know that I'm going to need for constructing the engines. So yeah, we will hopefully have those in before the next update, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to get all 6 engines all constructed. But anyway, let's get back to working on the back section, and then we'll start the headache of trying to work out how we're going to do that front cylinder. And here we have one engine. All we need to do is the little bit that goes on the back here, and I'm contemplating using the same technique as you see on the Razor Crest. On the front here, still trying to work out how I'm going to go about doing so. I've got a couple of ideas. I have tried some hinges and whatever else, but it's just not quite getting it looking right. I don't want there to be too many gaps, and I only want it to be a couple of plates thick when you're looking at it. So yeah, it's going to take a lot of interesting techniques, I think, to get this all how I want it to be. Now this engine does weigh a lot, and I'm really concerned about how it's going to stay in place on the vessel. Bearing in mind on the rear, we're going to have 2 of these engines plus the wing, and this part here, that's pretty much the size of the connection point to the actual fuselage. So yeah, it is going to be tough. I'm going to be really struggling so it doesn't actually sag, and it's going to take quite a lot to get it working how I want it to. Now, in regards to the mechanism that I've set up, where you turn a lever and that rotates all 4 engines, or all 6 engines, sorry, that I have got absolutely zero confidence in working. I think there's going to be way too much weight in this for it to be able to rotate all of them. So I think it's going to be a case of, if I am able to get the engines rotating, I'm just going to have to manually move each engine one at a time. So yeah, be interesting to see how that goes. But as I said, my biggest concern at the moment is that I can actually get them to stay on the craft without them drooping down at all. Now, there are a couple of bits on here that I am considering amending. Just on this part here, I might make this come out just a little bit further, and then this back one, I'll make this size just here. So that's just something I'm considering. I'll have a look at it when I do the next engine. So I'm just going to carry on experimenting with these engines as I go along until I'm 100% happy with it. But yeah, it's really satisfying to see one engine at this stage. And yeah, we will change a couple of tiles out, and maybe one or two of the curved slopes here as well into other colours to give it a more weathered feel to it, rather than just having it all dark bluish grey along the back section just here. Anyway, that's all we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. Now, I am considering changing the dates of when my videos come out, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. Anyway, thanks for walking by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.